Live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, season number 3 race from season number 4 race from Fontana, California. And we are all up and rolling here tonight at the Auto Club Speedway. It's the 4th race of the Cup Series season here in season number 4. And of course, we welcome you live to the broadcast booth. I'm your, of course, host as always, Ethan Schrenler. And we'll have, of course, alongside me, Cole Clausen as one of our in-race reporters. And that's what we got in store for you guys tonight. This is, of course, race number 4 of the season, and it is Fontana. Last season, this race was kind of midway or just past midway of the regular season. Now it's kind of early season, so back to what it used to be. So we're going to have, of course, cars on track here in just a few moments. So how this is going to work, as always, we'll have the half-hour warm-up session. We'll have a 2-lap qualifying, and, of course, the race, 100 laps around here in Fontana, California. This 2-mile oval. Of course, the Xfinity Series was here last night. They put on an absolute show, and that, of course, was won by Justin Rowe. We are all live here in Fontana for race number 4 of the Cup Series season. Welcoming you live to the broadcast booth. Session will be up in a few moments, and we will have cars on the racetrack. Of course, last week was Sonoma. That was, of course, won by Matthew White in an absolutely dominating performance. Absolutely destroyed everybody at that road course in Sonoma. Of course, tonight we head to this 2-mile oval. You're going to see, it's going to be an interesting race. So we're going to have, probably early on with the green flag runs, we're going to have some, not pack racing, I want to say, but some close racing. And then if we get any long green flag runs, which we probably would expect tonight, we should see them more spread out. And we're going to have, of course, 5 lanes of action full. We're also going to have that, of course, that 5-wide pace lap here like we did last season. It's going to be returning here tonight. It's a full night of action. This is the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series live on Ethan Schrenler, and we'll be at the racetrack in just about a minute's time. Stay tuned. From Fontana, the warm-up session is coming up. All right, cars are on the racetrack here in Fontana, California for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series as we welcome you live to Auto Club Speedway for tonight's Cup Series race. Cars heading down the front straightaway here early in the warm-up session. And we are underway here in California as you see Cole Clausen all over the back bumper of that number 7 of Matthew White. There he is doing his signature slide here even in practice. The 82, Aiden Donahue, making his second Cup start of the season. Of course, your driver with the most wins on the Cup Series calendar a season ago retired at the end of season number 3. He ran the Daytona 500, came home with the top 5 then. Going to be looking for even more here tonight as Havrilla rolls down the front straightaway in that 50. Connor Havrilla heads down the front stretch here into 1 and 2. Also see there is Trenton Wilkin in the 12 machine, heading onto the back straightaway in 3 and 4. And he'll be rolling down this front stretch. So of course, session just underway. Andrew Stacy first car over the line. He goes, of course, top of the board. There's Connor Asbell now going top. Here is the 8. Cameron Chandler, of course, like it was well documented a week ago, he missed Sonoma after getting involved in an accident actually on the state route right by Sonoma. Luckily, he is okay, and he's going to come into another California race here tonight. And he will be back, clear to return to the Cup Series this week. There is Cole Clausen rolling his way down the front stretch. In that Ford Mustang for M&F Racing. All right, so let's real quick go through some of your point situations we got going on. So, of course, only 3 races complete in the Cup Series this season. Of course, you have 18 regular season events. Of course, Matthew White took the points lead after his dominant win in Sonoma a week ago. It was nearly max points for White, just missed, of course, the 0x bonus. Bryce Benton, after such a solid start to his season, currently sits P2 in the points. He was very, very quick in the warm-up session for the Xfinity Series last night. Didn't really have the pace in the race to go along with it, but going to be looking for more here today. Hunsicker, Chandler, Millard, Banks, John Butler, Gary Smith, Havrilla, Tucker, Clausen, and Giesbrecht all sit above the playoff cut line currently. Notable drivers below the cut line are Wilkin. You got Matt Grab down there as well, and Sean Hilquich, Landon Johnson, William Reagan, Lucas Lewis, Eli Talman, Christian Leonard, Connor Asbell, Payson Lindsay, Andrew Stacy, just to name a few. And they're going to all want to have good nights tonight. Of course, talking about Connor Asbell, he's coming off 3 DNFs in a row. And he is going to have to just look to even just finish tonight. That's got to be his first goal, because he hasn't done that this season in the Cup Series so far. Here is Gary Smith. What a performance he put on last week in Sonoma. Came home with a top 5 finishing result. Going to be looking for even more here today. And that propelled him way closer to the playoffs than he was before. As they make their way through 3 and 4 here in Fontana. And down the front straightaway go these 3 Chevrolets. There is Matthew Rivera in his 4th career Cup Series start. Not running for the championship or anything, just trying to get some experience. There is Trenton Wilkin back on to the track. So how about Connor Havrilla and Andrew Stacy currently top 2. Now Matthew White goes fastest over Havrilla. All right. So there is Benton. There's the 16 of Trevento, making one of his Cup Series starts this season. He's supposed to be full-time. Hilquich now goes to the top of the board. There is that number 8 of Cameron Chandler, currently 7th on the timing sheet as he makes his way through 3 and 4. Loose moment, looking like the back end is starting to come out on that 8 machine. Down the front stretch he goes. There is Braden Hunsicker in the 77, heading through 1 and 2. And here he is, Mannix Beard down the back straightaway, making his Cup Series debut tonight. He's currently in his 2nd full-time Xfinity Series season. He actually won the pole last night for the Xfinity race. What a performance that was. Unfortunately, that was the only point he bagged all night long. And he ended up with a DNF after getting involved. Actually, he technically finished the race, but finished multiple laps down. And currently, looking at the Xfinity Series, he dropped even further down in the points. He was 16th entering Fontana. He currently sits P20. And he's going to be having to have some good races coming up, but we know he has the speed after winning the pole. And there's William Reagan. He's hit the wall on the back straightaway. So, of course, in the Xfinity race last night, we waited until the halfway break to have the first caution of the night. We'll see what happens here today with the Cup Series. Down the front straightaway goes that number 97 of Gary Smith. And into turns 1 and 2. There's William Reagan on the apron. Here's Cole Clausen in the 71 rolling up onto the track. Here comes Aiden Donahue down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. And off turn 4, heading down the front stretch here in Fontana. 16 drivers have been over the line so far. Currently, it's Matthew White and Sean Hillquist, your top two. Aiden Donahue now gets the third in the number 82 machine. Cole Clausen and Connor Havrilla, 4th and 5th. Here's Connor Asbell, currently 13th of the cars that have made times. Matthew Rivera, he is currently 8th. As he heads down the front stretch. Here from California, there is Sean Hillquist in the 81. You got the 9 of Bryce Benson. There's that 33 of Maddox Beard in the wall slightly. Currently 14th on the timing sheet. There's the 96, that is Andrew Stacy. And Stacy down the front stretch through the grass slightly. There is Mac Rabb currently on the racetrack. He right now sits below the playoff cut line, so he's going to have to make something happen tonight. We know how good he is on these longer runs. We probably expect some of those here today. As Mac Rabb heads down the back straightaway, and Aiden Donahue goes to the top of the board. Of course, he won this race a season ago. Harry Smith is now in 3rd. All right, so 17 minutes to go here in the warm-up session. And apologize for this. All right. Back live here in Fontana. There's Connor Havrilla down the front stretch. In that 50. All right. So just about halfway through the opening, of course, well, the only, I should say, warm-up session of the night. As Havrilla makes his way around the outside of Cole Clausen. White goes back to the top of the board. Looking like he has good speed in that 7. Once again looking for his 3rd win of the year. See Sean Hillquist, there is Rivera, there's Andrew Stacy in the 96. Here is Gary Smith on the back stretch. You got cars side by side. That is Trenton Wilkin and that 33 of Maddox Beard. They head side by side down this front stretch. Oh, and that now in the wall, you got Beard and Benton. As those two teammates both come together. Braden Hunsicker here down the back stretch in that 77. He makes his way through turns 3 and 4. wall slightly once again. And there is, of course, Matt Craft coming back on the track. You got Cole Clausen drafting up behind that number 19 of Matthew Rivera. As they roll down the front stretch yet again. Here from Fontana. So, of course, we'll be under the lights for a good portion of this race here tonight. Just like the Xfinity Series last night, as Chandler makes his way through turns 1 and 2. And down the backstretch he goes. You got William Reagan all over the back mover of Matthew White in that 7. Oh, we got a car in the grass. That is Connor Haverilla. Oh, and crashing is Matthew White. There's, William Reagan, both hard on the wall. And Cameron Chandler absolutely slams into them. So a big wreck here on the front straightaway. Now you can see Rivera has Clausen all over his back bumper. Clausen moves to the outside with 14 minutes to go in the warm-up, so we're about halfway through. Through 3 and 4 they go. Clausen to the inside of that 19 of Rivera. He will make the pass, heading down the front straightaway. Rivera back to the inside, though, down this front stretch again. So 20 cars have been over the line so far, all separated by about 0.8 of a second. There is TJ Hanley on the racetrack. Down the backstretch he goes in one of his part-time starts. Working his way through 3 and 4. There is that 99 Payson Lindsay down on the front stretch now. And downshifting a bit, I believe, is Payson Lindsay in that 99. Connor Asbell, Sean Hilkich. There is Gary Smith in that 97. Of course, Gary Smith was so impressive last week, like you mentioned. I was kind of worried about his pace on ovals because at Kentucky, of course, he ran basically 20th all night. Ended up not getting the finish he wanted. But currently 5th on the board, looking pretty solid so far for Gary Smith. As William Reagan there in that 36. Of course, in his second overall full-time Cup Series season, or it should be technically his 3rd. Still looking for that first career victory. He's had an okay year so far in that 36 machine for Johnson Motorsports. His first year with Johnson Motorsports. He actually took a season off last year. William currently sits 20th in points. So, a bit of a turnaround to try and attempt to make the playoffs. All right, we'll be back live here in just a few moments. Just give us a quick second. Currently in the warm-up session here tonight. All right, so 10 minutes remain here tonight for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series warm-up session here at Fontana, California. Trenton Wilkin has gone 2nd on the board. Bryce Benton is now 3rd. There is that 99 of Payson Lindsay rolling on to the racetrack. Got the 8 of Cameron Chandler. Oh, he's going to hit. I believe that's Wilkin in the wall. And he'll spin. There's Dylan Banks making his way onto the racetrack. Of course, he won the stage at Kentucky a couple of weeks ago and ended up with a top 5 finish there. Your defending series champion currently sits 7th in the points as Banks makes his way down the front straightaway. Of course, him looking for his first win of the season. He was very, very quick, of course, like we mentioned in Kentucky. Dylan Banks in the 48. Wall once again, and he's going to be wrecking down the back straightaway. Hard in the wall for Dylan Banks in that 48. He will flip on his roof and roll back on his wheels as John Butler comes to roll his way by. Here's Cole Clausen in the 71, pushing up the track in the wall again slightly down the front stretch. Banks rolling to pit road. There's Connor Rasbell ahead of him, that 82. Oh my gosh! And flipping is that number 71 of Cole Clausen. Of course, Showtime Motorsports with, of course, Ashton Miller here in the 79. They will have 4 cars on the racetrack tonight. Of course, they'll have the 3 full-time cars. Connor Aswell, Ashton Miller, and Gary Smith. Then, of course, you're going to have their team owner, Aiden Donahue, making one of his part-time Cup Series starts here tonight. As there's Miller, first time he's been on the track, heading down the front stretch in the 1 and 2. Couple of Toyotas, Hanley, Wilkin, down the back stretch. Some Chevrolets and Fords slowing down here. There's Maddox Beard. There's Connor Havrilla in the 50. That 09 of John Butler. That 97 of Gary Smith involved as well. 2 cars rolling off the pit road. That is Matt Grab behind Matthew White. Matt Grab currently sits 10th here in the standings. Overall, if we look at the point standings for Matt Grab, I should say, he currently sits P17 in points, so he's going to have a good day tonight, trying to make up some points and possibly get himself in the playoffs. But really, not a whole lot of people have had it worse so far this season than Andrew Stacy, if we can actually get to him. He wrecked for a second ago, and roll back on by. There's that 7 of Matthew White. There's that 8 of Cameron Chandler. Here's Andrew Stacy rolling onto the racetrack. So, of course, Andrew Stacy has been involved in accidents in 3 races in a row. Currently sits 26th in the standings. It's not much better for Payson Lindsay in the 99. Currently sitting P25 in the standings. Also got a penalty after Sonoma with contact with Mark Prince, who, of course, Prince is now suspended for this race. So. Big wreck. Stacy and that 36 of William Reagan get together. And down the front straightaway goes Payson Lindsay once more. Well, 6 minutes to go now in the warm-up section. As Lindsay makes his way through 1 and 2, there is car smoking on the back straightaway. That's Matthew Rivera. Sean Hilkich has gotten turned around in the 81. Here comes Aiden Donahue down the front stretch. Currently sits 4th on the board. Top 6. How about Maddox Beard? P6 here in the warm-up session so far. What a lap he has put down. Currently sits 6th. Head down the back straightaway. There is Bryce Benson to the inside of Connor Asbell through 3 and 4. Oh, they make contact. Asbell's on the wall hard in that 72. Oh, and he's going to get together with 82 of Aiden Donahue. So they wreck down in 3 and 4. Car upside down, it looks like. That is Andrew Stacy. Here comes Connor Haverilla down the front stretch. He makes his way through 1 and 2.
Yeah, just to give you a bit of an update on the track conditions out there. It does feel pretty good. I think it is a little bit tight. You know, you might be seeing some guys try to drive it in too hard and hit the wall maybe, but overall feels pretty good and gonna be a fun race.
Yeah, so of course we'll have changing track conditions throughout the race as well, with the sun going down. We have never had a Fontana Cup race. Now, this is the 4th in a row that hasn't been a sunset tonight race, so keeping their tradition alive. As Miller moves to the inside of his teammate, Aiden Donahue, in that 82. And they will work down the front straightaway. Donahue goes to the outside of that 79 of Miller with about 5 minutes remaining here in the session. Here's John Butler. There's that 97. There is that 96 of Andrew Stacy, the 81 of Sean Ilkich in the wall slightly. I believe that's Connor Aswell, and now he gets together with that 81 as they crash, heading through 3 and 4. 4 minutes still left to go in the session. Oh, and spinning is Connor Aswell going around into the wall hard. All right, so of course qualifying coming up next here in Fontana. Of course, 2 laps of qualifying for the pole position. And there is that 99 of Payson Lindsay in the wall, spinning out down the front stretch. And rolling back onto the track is Lindsay in that 99. So 23 cars have put down lap time so far here in Fontana for the warm-up session. Still top of the board is White, with Wilkin in second, Benton third, Donahue fourth, Gary Smith fifth. You got 3 Showtime Motorsports cars inside of the top 7. They started off the season very, very poorly, with multiple 2 last places finishes in a row. One by Ashton Miller, one by Connor Asbell. And their best finish all season was, I believe, best full-time driver finished all season up to that point after Kentucky was 7th. Then Gary Smith and Ashton Miller both turned it around at Sonoma, top 10s. Fortunately for Connor Asbell here in the 72, he ended up wrecking. Of course, 3rd DNF in a row. Going to be looking to turn it around tonight. He currently sits 24th in the standings. Only thing that has really saved Connor Asbell is he's gotten some stage points. And there's that 9 of Benton up to the outside, heading down the front stretch. I mean, it has been a great year of speed for Bryce Benton so far. It got to be just a matter of time before this 9 car goes to victory lane. There is Asbell running through the grass with Ashton Miller ahead of him, and now Miller's going to hit Asbell, and they both spin down on the inside lane. There's Hilquich in the 81 up to this, spinning around. There's Haverilla in that 50 machine. There's William Reagan in the 36. Matthew Rivera down the front stretch. Oh, big wreck here. Cole Clausen
Bryson Lindsay sucks.
Minutes to go here in the warm-up. So they all come together. As there is Rivera heading down the backstretch. Matthew White getting to the draft of Logan Giesbrett here. So, of course, qualifying coming up next here in Fontana. Butler in that 09. There's a 8 of Chandler. 77, that is Braden Hunsicker. Hunsicker makes his way through turns 3 and 4 with under a minute to go in the warm-up session here in Fontana. Hunsicker looking like he's going to be coming up pit road. Oh, locks the tires a bit, almost spins on the pits. warm-up session will run down. Ready for qualifying here tonight in Fontana. Time to see who's going to be sitting on pole. So, taking tires. Here's Hunsicker. But that'll do it for the warm-up session here in Fontana. Big wreck here in the back straightaway. Multiple cars go for a slide. And there's, Payson. Gary Smith.
Oh, I just died.
And that is the checkered flag here in the warm-up session. It is Matthew White, top of the board, as we welcome you live to Cup Series qualifying from Fontana. Time to get going as they roll off pit road. Gotta be wondering who will be the pole favorite. I mean, it was just so close at the front of the field between multiple cars. There's Cole Clausen, the 71. Their 36 there is William Reagan. That's 7 of Matthew White as well. Got the 52, that's TJ Handley. There's the 09 of John Butler. There's Connor Asbell in the 72. All right, for the pole, qualifying in Fontana. Of course, 2 laps to do it as always. Fastest lap wins the pole. 1 round. Here comes out. Oh my. Okay. Here comes Ashton Miller down the front straightaway to start his lap. Into turns 1 and 2, Miller goes. You got Andrew Stacy behind him. He needs a good qualifying spot. Has to have a clean, solid race that he scores points in tonight. There's William Reagan. He currently sits 20th in the points, of course. Matthew White, your points leader, and the winner in Sonoma a week ago. Heading down the back straightaway. TJ Handley running slow. Off turn 4 for Gary Smith in at 97. Let's see where he goes over the board. Across the line he goes. 3.5 minutes to go in the session. I believe Gary Smith was just starting his lap. Matthew White, of course, first one over the line. William Reagan's going to be in second place. Not a very good lap for Reagan. Neither Miller. Kind of a poor lap for Ashton Miller. Hunsicker is second. 2/10 off. Nobody really getting close to that 7 car so far. Now Chandler goes within a 10th in second. Hilkwich is third. Rivera is 5th. Lindsay is 6th. There's the 80 of Giesbredt on the bottom. Through 1 and 2 he goes. He's currently 12th. Chandler backs it down. He will qualify second of the best. Through turns 3 and 4 for Pace and Lindsay. Up the racetrack, that 99 goes. Heading down the front straightaway. Currently 8th. Gary Smith is 6th. Lindsay across the line. Trying to improve. He will go up to 3rd. A great lap for Pace and Lindsay. He's going to, of course, wreck. Matt Grab heading down the back straightaway in the 3 and 4. Rivera is 4th. What a great lap time for him. Matt Grab off turn forward, heading down the front stretch. Butler's P2. Great lap for John Butler. Can anyone knock off Matthew White from pole position? There's Dylan Banks. Here comes Bryce Benton. 2 drivers that could be in contention for doing that. Ooh, Benton nearly in the wall. Runs it. Oh, Banks has hit the wall down the front stretch. Handley is done. There's the 8 of Chandler. Multiple cars still on pit road. Wilken now rolling onto the racetrack. So lots of drivers here going for the pole. Waiting for the ideal track conditions. Here comes Matt Grab off corner exit. Currently yet to put down a time here with 1 minute and 30 to go. Across the line he goes. Matt Grab in that 53. He's 8th for his first lap. Banks has spun again. There's Michael Gregory in his Cup debut down the back straightaway. He's in that open Hunsicker Motorsports machine. Here's Bryce Benton off turn 4. Down the front straightaway he goes. Can he knock White off pole position? Benton is only 17th on his first lap. He's got 1 minute to go for his second. Matt Grab second. Great lap time by that Ford Mustang. Wilkin now across the line in the 12. What is he going to be able to do? He's 19th on his first lap. Michael Gregory had a great run last night in Fontana for the Xfinity Series. We'll see what he can do today. Bryce Benton across the line. His qualifying is now over. Can he go top of the board? We'll see where he is. He's second. Barely off Matthew White. But he will ultimately end up P2. Wilkin through turns 3 and 4. Oh, he's in the wall. That's going to kill his time. Wilkin will be starting in the rear tonight. Not what he wanted. Currently 19th. Across the line he goes. Qualifying runs down. And that'll do it in qualifying. Matthew White on pole position here tonight. As we welcome you live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Season number 3 race from Fontana. We are all up and running tonight. Welcome you live to Fontana, California for the Cup Series tonight. So, of course, 30, of course, what am I saying? 100 lap event here tonight in Fontana. Halfway break at the end of lap number 25, or lap number 50, I should say. We're, of course, going to have that 5-wide pace lap as well. First time around, they will check pit road speed. And that's how it's going to go around. It's probably the most entertaining and most eventful pace lap all season. As cars on the grid currently.
In my opinion, I think we should start the race 5 wide now. That'd be awesome.
I mean, we could try one day in like lobbies or something. All right, welcoming you live to Fontana. Sun is setting. It's a beautiful night for action in Fontana, California for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series here tonight. Car is going to be rolling off the grid in just a couple of moments. Final cars towards the back of the grid. Aiden Donahue going to be starting outside of the top 20 after not putting down a qualifying lap. Here we go in Fontana. Welcome live to the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series Season number 4 race, the 4th race of the season. It's Matthew White on pole for the 2nd straight week. Looking for back-to-back victories after winning in Sonoma last week on the road. Let's go through your starting lineup here on the left side of your screen. So, of course, Matthew White on pole. Position 2 is outside. Is going to be that number 9 of Bryce Benton. He has been so quick all season, just a matter of time before Benton goes to victory lane. Row number 2 will consist of Mac Rabb and John Butler in that 09. Row 3, you got Cameron Chandler, Payson Lindsay's teammates. Team Chevy Motor Club currently occupies 4 of the top 6 positions. Very, very strong qualifying for that organization. Matthew Rivera, strong qualifying. He qualifies 8th, or 7th, I should say. Smith, Asbell, Hilquich round out your top 10. The rest of the field is rolling across the left side of your screen. So they will come to check pit road speed this time by. And they will come to 2 to go, which, of course, next time by will be the 5-wide pace lap. So cars coming up pit road to check pit road speed. All right, so Cole Clausen, you're going to be starting in 24th tonight. What do you think it's going to be like there back deep in the fields early in the race?
Well, it's going to be plumb wild back here, man. I have no clue what to expect. And we're probably going to be 5 wide on the day and restarts here. So all we got to do is be prepared, and hopefully we can come out here with a solid finish.
As they will come to check their one car pitting, I believe. Hilquich, that's the 2nd straight week he's done that. You only get 3 sets of tires, down from 4 last season, because Cup Series and the Xfinity Series are trying a new thing where they do allow less sets of tires. And here they come, ready to go 5 wide. starting off down the back straightaway. They ever catch up back there? Not really sure what they're doing. I think they're waiting for Hillquist in the 81, who just kind of messed up the whole formation. All right, so they are going to roll 5 wide once they all get into position.
The sun back here is insane. You can barely even see the guy ahead of you.
All right, everybody trying to find a place in line. Kind of a messy one, but they're going to finally somewhat get in here, I think. There we go. Okay. 5 wide at Fontana. It is a Fontana tradition, and it happens tonight in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. Big show for these fans. They have stayed it out, ready for the main event of the weekend, the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. 5 by 5 down the front stretch. Beautiful sight here in Fontana. They come to 1 degree this time by. We're obviously not starting like this, like Cole Clausen once. 5.
It's actually going to be 2 to green. We're actually going to do this for like a lapper, I guess.
They actually extended.
Yeah.
Not exactly going to help out fuel strategy. Actually, what is the fuel strategy looking like real quick, Cole?
Looks like we got 43 laps.
Yeah, that's going to, kind of cutting it close then. They're going to have to probably make a pit stop if we don't get a caution flag like we didn't last night. As they roll down the back straightaway, going to go one more time around for these fans. Beautiful sight here in Fontana. All these Cup Series stars ready to go here today for the 4th race of season number 4. And now we will finally come to 1 to go this time, till we see the green flag. All right, 1 to green, this time by. Lights have officially now gone on here in Fontana. And they will come into formation. So, of course, choose cone on the restarts will be on the front straightaway, like always. 100 laps, 200 miles, halfway break at the end of lap number 50. 43 laps, your fuel window. So if we don't get a caution flag like I mentioned earlier, they're going to have to make a pit stop here in this first half. Under green. There's Matthew White in the 7, your season number 1 Cup Series champion, rolling down the backstretch here with 1 to the green flag. They'll have Bryce Benton, has been so quick all season long on his outside lane. Matt Grab gonna pull up behind him. Team Chevy Motor Club, very, very quick in qualifying. Can they show that same kind of speed in the race? White and Benton rolling side by side through 3 and 4. Ready to come to the green flag this time by. Lots of cars going to the end of the longest line for whatever reason. But we'll be underway here in Fontana. The iRacing pace car makes that hard left turn down the pit road. And the season number 4 NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series race from Fontana is underway. Oh, White already loose on the outs inside lane. He'll have Benton to his outside on the opening lap, side by side, and Bryce will clear for the lead. Gary Smith down to the inside of that 7 as they head through 3 and 4 wide action behind him. look all through the pack, door to door. Everybody trying to make track position up here early in Fontana. Who's going to lead the opening lap down the front straightaway? It'll be car on the wall. Aiden Donahue down the front straightaway. Slams into the fence in the 82. We'll keep it green. It's just a one-car incident. He actually saves it. That is big, though, for the 82 machine. Came in and was one of your favorites to take the checker flag first tonight. As they roll down the back straightaway here on lap number 2. Gary Smith all over the back bumper of Bryce Benton. He'll move to the outside. Smith on the top lane. Momentum coming up top. We saw with the Xfinity Series, top lane was definitely very strong in 1 and 2, not as strong in 3 and 4. Smith's got to run down this front stretch. So they're making contact behind him. It looks like Connor Asbell possibly with Braden Hunsicker. As they head back into 1 and 2, Smith to the inside of Benton. Side by side for the lead as you saw Aiden Donahue coming to pit road here early. Damage on that 82 as they roll side drafting down the back straightaway. Benton's going to be able to re-clear Gary Smith. Sean Hilkich back there in the 81, trying to peek out of line. He'll have Matthew Rivera there on the outside lane. There's Matt Grab in the 53. So they will come to complete lap 3 wide down the front straightaway. Multiple cars as Pace and Lindsay, John Butler and Logan Giesbrecht. Butler's going to fall back a bit, maybe not liking what he sees. Through 1 and 2 they go. Up the racetrack slightly as Matt Grab looks like he gets tight. Up the track there is Hilkwich on the inside lane. Trying to side draft. There's Pace and Lindsay going 3 wide down the backstretch. Through turns 3 and 4 they go yet again. Vera there in the outside lane. You can see Giesbrecht involved as well. So Gary Smith's got to run down the front straightaway yet again. Where is he going to take on Benton? He'll go outside. 3 wide behind him. There is Matt Grab in the middle. You can see Rivera back up the track. He's blinking slightly. Smith side drafting down the back straightaway for the lead on lap 5. Bryce Benton and Gary Smith battling for it. Smith's going to send it down deep. Benton back on the outside lane, though. They're still side by side through turns 3 and 4. Gary Smith edges out in front, and he is clear. New leader in Fontana here on lap number 6, Gary Smith. Benton not giving up, though. Back to the inside he goes. Trying to make a move back down there. He will not have it happen. He will fall back in line behind Smith, and he currently now runs second. There is White, currently in third. More cars down the back straightaway as well. Side drafting here is that 99 of Lindsay and the 19 of Matthew Rivera. Rivera on the outside lane here of Payson. Yeah, Matt Grab ahead of him. Oh, and this wall slightly is that 19 machine. Sean Hilkich, strong run early on, currently runs P5. He's on the bumper of Cameron Chandler, who was quiet in both qualifying and the warm-up session. Looking for some more here tonight. Hilkich now to the outside of that 8. He's got that 50 of Connor Havrilla all over his back bumper. Gives him a shot, and they get clear with each other. Gary Smith has about a half-second lead. Oh! Matthew White was sideways down the back straightaway. Almost went around. My goodness. Braden Hunsicker, I'm not really sure where he is. He might be on pit road. He is thinking having a connection issue for Braden Hunsicker. Currently is being scored 2 laps down. That is big. Hunsicker and Donahue both with issues. Of course, Donahue in the wall. Currently about at 7 laps down, 5 laps down right now. He is going to be out of contention for the win easily. Unfortunate for Aiden Donahue in his second Cup start of the year. Havrilla gets pushed out. He's side by side with Matthew White. White there on that outside lane once again, battling with that number 50. Ooh, Havrilla slides up into the quarter panel, gets Matthew White up the racetrack. They're going to be door-to-door possibly down this front straightaway yet again. 3 wide further back. Oh, Pace and Lindsay and Matthew Rivera make contact. Connor Asbell there as well. You can see the 8 of Cameron Chandler there being aggressive. back here kind of just outside the top 5. Milkwich on that outside lane, trying to get momentum up top. You can see also sliding up there is that 96 of Andrew Stacy. Mac Grab kind of involved there as well. It's been kind of a terrible start for the Ethan Schindler Racing cars. Of course, their best running car currently is 7th place Sean Hillquich. He's got Cars Freight training him in the outside lane. Then he got Hanley back there in 22nd. Banks, Wilkin also back there outside the top 15. Let's see what ETR can do as they won the Xfinity race last night. 10 laps into Fontana. Currently, Gary Smith with a 6/10 of a second lead, I should say. As they head onto the back straightaway yet again. Chandler now kind of getting freight trained up in the outside lane. Hillquich there with that 27 of Michael Gregory through 3 and 4. Oh, and the wall slightly as they had 81. They side draft heading down the front stretch, I should say. Aswell going to try to side draft Chandler, who's beginning to kind of fall back early on in this race. See that 27 of Gregory to his outside. Maybe some tire saving. Also, you're going to be wondering if they're going to be doing any sort of fuel saving tonight. They were 42, probably did a good coming to the green flag. That's 9 laps you would have to make up. I think they're going to have to pit if we don't have a caution flag here in the first half. Been all green so far, coming to lap 12. Benton has started to reel in your leader, Gary Smith, as they head back down into 1 and 2. Of course, Benton there currently running in 2nd. 3rd currently is that 50 of Connor Haverilla. Off to a great start tonight. Matthew White, your pole sitter, running 4th. How about Payson Lindsay? He needs this kind of run tonight. Currently in 5th, battling with Matthew White for 4th. Lindsay, of course, enters 24th in the standings. Oh, Gary Smith, I believe, had an issue off corner exit. Off turn number 4. Benton's all over his back bumper, and we might have a battle for the lead here in a moment. Avrilla also there trying to close. Lindsay still all over the back bumper of that number 7 of Matthew White. Through 3 and 4 yet again. White looking to the inside here of Connor Haverilla. Haverilla trying to squeeze him tight on the inside. White gonna try to side draft him down this front straightaway. Big block, nearly to the grass on the apron they go. Matthew's going to drop back in line. Thinks better of it. Now you got Sean Hillquich making up time. He's back up to the inside with Lindsay, who's starting to drop back slightly. Hillquich to the door of that 99 as they head down the back straightaway yet again. 14 laps in. Gary Smith has been out front for the most laps so far. Here's White back to the bumper of Haverilla. He maybe gets to his bumper just slightly there. Gets him up the racetrack, going to be door to door. Side drafting down the front straightaway yet again. White, of course, started on pole position. Fell back to 4th, possibly looking to take 3rd place back away. Avrilla looking to gain momentum back around the outside lane. Can he stay to the outside of White, who slides up the racetrack? Haverilla going to maybe looking for a crossover move. He's back to the inside of that 7. Big side draft as they head door to door in 3 and 4. Oh, contact! White's up the racetrack. He will save it and slide. Payson Lindsay 3 wide down the front straightaway. Cameron Chandler almost makes it 4 wide. He does make it 4 wide. Nearly 4 by 4 they are for a second. Down this front straightaway, more contact being made with Rivera and Havrilla. What a moment for Matthew White that created all of that chaos down the front stretch. And now Payson Lindsay in the 3rd, still 3 wide with Chandler on the inside of White. Hillquich in that 81 in the outside lane. He's going to, oh, they make contact. They all somehow save it again. What a crazy bout of lap there. As Hilkush tries to move back to the inside of White, who's going to fall back in the wall slightly as Rivera. How about Logan Giesbett with a run down this front straightaway? They're 4 wide again. Contact made, 4x4 down the front stretch. What a race so far here in Fontana. Start blinking. Oh, Haverella slides up the racetrack once again. He'll be split 3 wide. Cameron Chandler moving all the way to the inside. Maybe not liking what he sees up front. Drops back a couple of places. Hilkuch back to the inside. Michael Gregory splitting the middle. Where did he come from? Chandler now back to 10th as they roll down the front straightaway yet again. Of course, Gary Smith still leading 18 laps into Fontana. Hilkuch back on the outside lane there. We were so close to possibly getting our first caution flag of the night, but they all are able to somehow save it, and we stay green. Oh, looking to the inside, there is Rivera on Matthew White. Battle for 4th. Rivera almost backs out of it. White trying to go to the outside there on Payson Lindsay. This momentum carries them all down the front straightaway. Nobody is really, except the top 2, nobody has really separated themselves from each other up in this little pack. About maybe 15 or so cars. But all green flag running so far here in Fontana. Coming to lap 20 this time by. Ooh, Hilkuch nearly to the door of Michael Gregory. Almost gives him a bit of a door slam. Here is Chandler to the inside of that 80 of Giesbret. Through 3 and 4, they're 3 wide, possibly. You can use all 5 lanes, as we mentioned earlier here in Fontana, 3x3 down the front straightaway. Hilkuch gonna carry momentum back around the top lane to re-clear them too. Matthew White has gotten around Payson Lindsay for 3rd. Lindsay, though, back around the outside lane, looking to regain position, but he's now got Matthew Rivera working to his bottom. And here's Bryce Benton to the outside of Gary Smith for the lead side by side. Benton will re-clear Smith. New leader once again. It is Bryce Benton here on lap 20. He retakes the lead in Fontana. Gary Smith back to the outside lane, trying to carry momentum. He loses more than he gains as they head down the front stretch. Oh, look at this more 3-wide action with Michael Gregory, Connor Haverilla, and Matthew Rivera. Of course, updated on Hunsaker. He still, I believe, is in the garage. Currently 16 laps down as Matthew White has a big bobble you saw there a couple of moments ago. Haverilla back to the inside of Michael Gregory as they head back into 3 and 4 yet again. Oh, look at Haverilla getting loose, possibly loses momentum. They were 4 wide for a second yet again. And Haverilla begins to fall back once more. Ooh, in the wall, Connor Asbell once more in that 72. Looking for 3rd position is Matthew White, looking loose down the back straightaway. He's got Payson Lindsay all over his back bumper as they head back into 3 and 4. Gary Smith beginning to fall back on Bryce Benton. About 7/10 of a lead for the 9 as the sun continues to set under basically full lighting here in Fontana. Here's Hilkuch now to the inside of Rivera. Down the front stretch, they side draft. There's the 8 of Chandler. Where is he going to make a move? He stays outside. How about the 27 of Michael Gregory, currently running 5th. 23 laps into Fontana. So, Cole Clausen, you currently run P20. How's the fuel situation looking like you're 23 laps in?
Not looking good. Got 24 laps of fuel left, so I don't think we're going to make it.
So we'll most likely see most of the cars down pit road unless you're somehow able to save. Look back here for a second, of course, kind of back outside top 20. cars beginning the race. Matt Grab's involved there. He started inside the top 10, fell back early on. Maybe some fuel-saving strategy, maybe something else. We don't really know. As Matthew White slides up ahead of Payson Lindsay to clear him down the back straightaway. Lindsay's been all over the back bumper of that 7 for multiple laps now. Now here is Matthew White looking to take second place away from Gary Smith. To the inside on that 97 machine. Will Lindsay maybe think about 3 wide? Currently he does not. They run down the front stretch. White to the inside, Smith trying to gain momentum on the top. He's going to clear Gary Smith. Oh, and Smith is in the wall. That'll kill all momentum for that 97. He'll have a run, slightly actually, not killing his momentum somehow. White's going to have to defend in 3 and 4. Smith back to the outside lane of that 7 car. He could get there. He's going to have to try to, keep out of the wall. Doesn't do it that time, of course. As they head down the back straightaway, he'll have a run to try to get back to the outside or the inside of Matthew White. Through 1 and 2. Smith on the high lane. He'll have Payson Lindsay to his door, as you can see. Smith's got momentum, but it doesn't look like it's going to be nearly enough to try to close up to Matthew White, who's starting to maybe try to charge his way in there on Bryce Benton. Benton currently with a 5-10-second lead. 26 laps in the Fontana. We've been all green so far, halfway through the first half. Lindsay losing momentum here in the back. Oh, he's going to come to pit road. That 99 is already pitting. Early pit stop, the first one to cycle through. About 20 laps of fuel. There is Logan Gieser pitting as well. So some early pit stops here in Fontana. Kind of surprised by that. Maybe you want to get on a different tire strategy or something. Try something different. We'll see. Strategy from Payson Lindsay and company usually really doesn't go to plan, if I'm being honest. So we'll see how it works out. Still in the early stages here in Fontana. You're watching the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. As we come to lap 28. Gary Smith's got to run down this front straightaway now on Matthew White. Where is he going to try to make his move? Down into 1 and 2 they go. Smith to the outside. You got Payson Lindsay rolling off pit road, just gets put a lap down. Ahead of him there is Braden Hunsicker, finally back on the racetrack. Same thing with Aiden Donohue. Gary Smith to the outside of Matthew White. Through turns 3 and 4 they go. First Hunsicker 22 laps down. Unless he gets 0x, he is going to score 0 points tonight. Now here is Michael Gregory to the inside of Gary Smith. Took advantage of Smith losing momentum, and he's going to be side by side, taking 3rd place away in the 1 and 2. Cameron Chandler currently running in P5. Connor Asbell needed a 6th place run tonight. Andrew Stacy running 11th, also a much-needed run for him. A lot of drivers getting their much-needed runs tonight, and drivers like Braden Hunsicker, of course, currently running in last, 22 laps down after having issues on pit road, having to go to the garage. Going to be not capitalizing on this tonight. Hunsicker in this race, he entered P3 in the points. This is definitely going to shuffle him down. Through 1 and 2 they go yet again. Lead about 4/10 of a second for Bryce Benton over Matthew White. Michael Gregory battling with Matthew White now for 2nd. Gregory to the outside here of White. Door to door down the front stretch. Side drafting these two Chevrolets. Michael Gregory was so quick in the Xfinity race last night. In his first Cup start of the season, now runs the outside through 1 and 2. All over the wall. That is going to wear your tires quicker, but it's the faster way around in 1 and 2. He'll have momentum off corner exit. Looking to clear White, and he will. New driver in 2nd. It is Michael Gregory. And he's going to be battling now for the lead on Bryce Benton. Benton is kind of off the gas. I don't think you're going to be able to save enough, if I had to imagine. I mean, it is going to be tough to be able to do that. I don't think anybody's really going to try. With 19 to go to the halfway break. They're on the gas. I don't think anybody's coasting and lifting or anything. I don't believe they are. We can ride along for a second here with Matthew White to take a look. Sorry about that. Take a listen in. Sorry about all that. Riding along with Matthew White. He's on the bumper of Gregory. He's got a draft, so that definitely, if you're leading, it's going to be burning more fuel. Yeah, not saving at all. That just like I expected. He moves to the inside of that 31 through 1 and 2. See that side-by-side battle ahead of them. Currently riding along with Gary Smith. Looking real quick on what happened to Braden Hunsicker. Yeah, he had a connection issue. Unfortunate for the driver of the 77. Here is Connor Asbell to the inside of Sean Hilquich. Side by side. Oh, Hilquich in the wall slightly. He still holds on to 5th, but don't want to hit the wall too much. You're going to damage your toe. Cameron Chandler back to 7th on the bumper of that number 72 of Asbell. Gregory there closing for the lead on Benton. Matthew White there as well in the 7. But probably all going to most likely come down to pit stops. Who can execute on and off pit road? We already had a couple of cars come to pit road to make their stops. William Reagan, the most recent. Side-by-side action here. Cameron Chandler and Payson Lindsay. They're, of course, not on the same lap. Lindsay on fresher tires than Chandler, so we should see him just drive around him. Now there's this 27 of Michael Gregory trying to make his way to the inside of Bryce Benton. Benton's been quick all night long as he has been all season long, but now as Gregory moves to the inside, that allows Matthew White to clear him in the outside lane. Great execution there by the 7. Side by side as Hilquich moves to the inside of Gary Smith. Trying to clear him off corner exit. He gets a little bit loose. He will now clear him. Smith looking for momentum down the front stretch. Hilquich off to a great start tonight. Currently runs 4th. Side by side down the front straightaway. Smith back to the inside there on the 81 of Hilquich. Moving low, side drifting down the back straightaway. Through turns 3 and 4, his teammate Connor Asbell goes with him. Top 3 kind of separated themselves. Contact is made. Smith is loose on the front straightaway. Contact with the 81 of Hilquich. Somehow they both save it, and we stay green. My goodness, that could have been a disaster down the front stretch. Up front to the inside is Matthew White on Bryce Benton. Benton's got momentum. He should be able to re-clear him off corner exit. White made a big dive bomb as we were watching the battle for 5th. It's still starting to heat up back here, but the battle is on for the race lead. Starting to come into this longer run. We're going to see who has the longer run pace. Looks like Benton might be a little bit down on that. Matthew White looks pretty decent on that, though. Matt Grab up to 12th. He's also one of these long run drivers. How about Michael Gregory? A big run back to the inside lane will clear Matthew White once again as they all run the top in 1 and 2. Gregory all over the wall, though. Highest one, he'll have momentum off quarter exit. Ooh, nearly in the wall, gets tight. Has White on his bumper. But we know they have to pit. Question is, when will they cycle as Michael Gregory to the inside of Bryce Benton? For the lead, they both watch each other up the racetrack. Here comes White. Benton clears both of them, and Now White back to the inside of that 27. Side by side for second, back down the front straightaway. White drives in deep once more to try to clear that 27 of Gregory. He's almost clear, clears high, but Gregory's gonna have to try to get momentum. Down this back straightaway, he's actually gonna slightly push Matthew White. They do lose about 2/10 to Bryce Benton. Coming to lap 40, 11 to go to the halfway break. When will they pit? It's gotta be somewhere soon. Cole, what's your fuel looking like right now if you can give us an update? I guess he's muted right now, but they head back down into one.
Sorry about that. I know I was muted, but I got about 7 laps left right now. So, but I have not been saving, so that number might be different for other drivers.
Drivers at the front of the field, I've been listening on board. They haven't really been saving at all, so I would expect everybody's kind of on that number, maybe like 4 laps, 5 laps short, somewhere around that, as Bryce Benton is beginning to pull away from Matthew White big time, as White has been battling with Gregory a lot with 10 to go to the halfway break. Oh, actually, listening on, I think Matthew White is lifting and coasting now. We saw this in Kentucky. Definitely running the 5 extra pace laps at the beginning of the race didn't help out a whole lot. But we were only supposed to run 3. As they head back down into 3 and 4 as White begins to save even more. Gregory is also kind of staying on his bumper. Benton looks like he's the one that's not saving at all. This is when it's going to get interesting here in Fontana. Lots of cars coming down pit road, led by Matthew Rivera. You got Andrew Stacy, Dylan Banks up in there, Gary Smith, Cameron Chandler, Ashton Miller. They all come to cycle to pit road. It's going to be, I would assume, tires. Stacy has to back up to his pit stall. I'm assuming you're going to take tires. They will take probably 4 fresh Goodyears, maybe some 2 tire stops, but you've been on these tires since the start of the race. You got 3 sets in the pits. Off pit road first is going to be Cameron Chandler. You may have taken 2. Banks gets a good stop. Not a good stop for Gary Smith. Your leaders make their way down the front straightaway yet again. There's Banks rolling off, going a lap down, and your leader Bryce Benton through 1 and 2. Top, I believe 12 have pitted. Bottom 12 have pitted, I should say. Benton to the outside there of Cameron Chandler, his teammate. Gotta put him a lap down. Chandler gonna fight back to the inside, not gonna really help out Benton a whole lot. Coming to 7 to go to the halfway break. We'll see who can stretch it, if anyone. White has been saving a bit. He's now let Gregory by. He's got Hilquich on his bumper. I believe Benton has been saving as well, a bit as well. John Butler rolls off pit road in the background. There is White and Hilquich in the 81. I mean, they are going to be on fumes if they somehow even save, because they've been running full song for the last 40 laps. All green as Haverillo makes his way to the inside. He's definitely going to have to pit, not saving whatsoever. Hilquich, I believe, is starting to save as Matthew White's slow in the inside lane. He's not coming this time, though, as it comes to 6 to go to the halfway break. Ooh, big block to the inside. Connor Asbell and William Reagan. There's Hilquich as well, pulling out of line. William Reagan there, the inside of that 81. He's going to make up positions as he did pit already, so he can run full song. Benton letting the 50 of Haverillo, who pitted, around the outside. But now Michael Gregory, who is on the lead lap, trying to take the lead away from Bryce Benton. Benton is coming to pit road. Your leader surrenders to come to pit. That'll cycle the lead to, and that Hilquich pits behind him. He comes in very, very hot. Barely gets his pit road speed if he did at all. That'll cycle to the lead to Michael Gregory in the 27. Matthew White, it's gonna be interesting to see if he can stretch it. Connor Asbell has pitted as well. He definitely wants more drivers to come to pit road, if they don't, he's not gonna really score any stage points whatsoever. Back here, these are a couple of cars that pitted. Matt Grab isn't one that pitted, though. He's currently running third. He's Brett in the middle. There's Dylan Banks. He's been quiet all night. Kind of been running outside of the top 20 for a good portion of the day. Here's your leader, Bryce Benton, off of pit road. Your former leader, I should say. Now he goes one lap down. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Bryce may cycle behind a lot of drivers here. Asbell, he's going to cycle way behind, so really not the strategy Bryce Benton would have wanted. He's going to probably cycle maybe like, they all pitted maybe 8th, 9th, somewhere around that. He is not going to be happy with that. Gregory still currently has the lead. Andrew Stacy in the 96 had a very loose moment ahead of Matthew White. White to the inside of that 96 machine. Stacy did pit. They side draft each other down the front stretch. Grab coming with the man behind him. As White will surrender, it will take the lead now as Gregory comes to pit road. Look on the pits. There is Maddox Beard and Michael Gregory both down pit road. 3 to go till the halfway break. Matt Grab there, trying to get to Matthew White as well. White trying to save even deeper. Can Matt Grab get there? Will White make it? Most cars have pitted, I believe, about the top 6 or 5. I believe only about 4 or 3 cars have actually stayed out. White being included in one of them as they come to 2 to go to the halfway break. Up here, everybody trying to lap themselves quickly behind here. Brent Benton is going to be the next one to try to do that. Matt Grab there is the 27 of Michael Gregory rolling on by. Benton will cycle around him. White trying to just hold on for the stage victory. Matt Grab kind of slow back there as well. Even slower than Matthew White. Coming to the final lap of the stage this time by. White is very, very slow in the inside lane. Kind of just coasting around as they come to 1 to go to the halfway break. Benton's going to have big momentum down the front stretch to try to lap himself. Same thing with John Butler in that 09. Gary Smith side by side with the 27 of Gregory. As Matt Grab almost out of fuel on the bottom. White is very, very slow. Rolling really, really slowly. Same thing with Matt Grab on the backstretch. Final lap in the stage. White trying to just hold on. Through turns 3 and 4. He's all over the bumper, all over the bottom. Matt Grab trying to do anything to maybe close in. I don't think he has enough fuel at all. Green and white checkered flag here. Matthew White is going to somehow survive, hold on, and will win the stage. Second's going to be Matt Grab. I believe we have to wait for the top 10 to cross the line, but we're not going to do that for obvious reasons. So caution flag will just come out now. It is now the halfway break. Matthew White somehow hangs on, gets his second stage win in a row. Crazy half. Here in Fontana, it ran all green. First yellow flag of the night here in Fontana on lap 51 for the halfway break. Scoring stage points, White, Grab, Leonard, Wilkin, Havrilla, Hilquich, Reagan, Chandler, Rivera, Giesbrecht. Very, very mixed bag. Oh! What is Matt Grab doing? Oh my god, are you serious? What was that? He might be out of fuel. And he just got absolutely ran through by Trenton Wilkin, and that is so unfortunate. Under the caution flag. What are they doing? Let's take a look real quick. Oh, what is Wilkin doing? I mean, just run straight into him. I've never seen anything like that. That is, wow. Unreal. And Wilkin is rolling with no front tire rolling at all. So they come to the Matthew White. I don't even know if he has pitted yet. I mean, it's going to be kind of a chaotic halfway break. I don't really know what's going on at this point.
Well, I'm pushing Matthew White right now, and he better give me a candy bar after this race, or else we're gonna have serious problems.
I mean, it worked. They were like on absolute fumes. Mostly everybody else pitted. Somehow White saved enough. And yeah, unfortunate there for Wilkin and Matt Grab, especially for Wilkin. That may be race-ending damage for the 12 after entering this race below the playoff cut line. So in the front, where's Christian Leonard? There he is in the 5. All right, so here they come to cycle to pit road. All right, here they come to pit. Halfway break pit stops in Fontana. They are all cycling to pit road. I don't know who's gonna stay out. Nobody's gonna stay out, so works out really well for Matthew White. He's really the only one that it worked out well. He's gonna save a set of tires. I mean, unless that other drivers don't take tires, which I don't really see happening, to be honest. White rolling slowly on pit road. That's gonna be the only thing that's gonna kind of hurt him here. Finally gets to his pit stall. Bryce Benton back there as well. Looking like 4 fresh Goodyear tires for everybody. Good stop for Michael Gregory back there. Good stop for Rivera. Who's going to be off pit road first? It is going to be Michael Gregory. Second's going to be Havrilla. Third going to be Rivera. Fourth, Gary Smith. Fifth, Hillquist. Sixth, Reagan. Seventh, Matthew White. Eighth, and then how about Bryce Benton all the way rolling back here outside of the top, I think almost 15. Going to be restarting in 14th for Bryce Benton. The biggest loser in all of that was Trenton Wilkin.
So let's just say I kind of went a lap down, and I was gonna get the lucky dog, but then I started bumping Matthew White with him to get to his pit box, and it gave me like some incidents, and now I'm not lucky dog anymore. So that kind of sucks.
Dylan Banks here stopping on the back straightaway. Not really sure why. Might be some scoring thing. Gotta get that all figured out. We're coming to 1 to green this time by, so we'll have to choose as you can see. Okay, coming to pit road. We've got cars on pit road. So last night we saw a lot of drivers choosing the inside, then the outside. This time it's kind of, I mean, a lot of drivers maybe choosing the inside multiple times. This time it's kind of split. Banks is now on. I'm not really sure what's going on with Banks now. Wilkin has retired. Banks, I believe, with a mechanical issue, is also down at pit road. I think he is retired as well. That is unfortunate. An ETR implosion right in front of my own eyes. My God. Only ETR car that's really had anything go right for him tonight is Sean Ilquich after ETR won the Xfinity race last night with, of course, Justin Rowe. Matt Grab, I believe, still on pit road, or coming, because there is Aiden Donnie rolling off. Matt Grab, I believe, back on the racetrack there in the 53. A lot of drivers going to need an early caution flag here in this second half to try to get some laps back. Grab currently 2 down. Wilkin out of the race. Donahue out of the race. Same thing with Hunsicker. Banks is now out of the race. So we will come to the restart this time by 46 laps to go under the second half now here in Fontana. Back to the green flag. Great restart from Michael Gregory on the inside. There is Connor Havrilla back on his bumper. They will head down the front stretch into turns number 1 and 2. Oh, in the wall. It's like, oh, car in the wall. That's Hillquist. Matthew White's involved. Hillquist wrecks in the back straightaway. He's somehow the only one really involved, so we'll keep it green. Yet another ETR car involved in something, but Matthew White got put in, door slammed in the fence. That's going to be probably hurting his performance a bit. As Hilquich falls on back, as they head down the front straightaway. Three wide action throughout the pack. There is Gary Smith looking to the inside there on that number 19 of Matthew Rivera. Door to door down the back straightaway. How about a wild top 5 so far? Gregory, Haverhill, Rivera, Smith, and Reagan. Currently your top 5 here in Fontana on lap 56. Wide. William Reagan in the middle, Bryce Benton and Gary Smith. Benton goes to the inside, maybe getting a 2-for-1 here in the 9. Smith still has that momentum on the top lane. As they head back into 1 and 2. Benton will clear for P4, so it is going to be interesting to see what the fuel situation looks like as Haverhill moves to the outside of Michael Gregory. A big block down the back straightaway to try to break the draft for that number 27. Haverhill in the 50, back to the high side. Trying to get momentum on the outside lane. Run down the front straightaway. Where is he going to take it? He's got a big run. He's on his bumper. He pulls high for the lead in Fontana. Connor Haverhill is going for it. Side by side through 1 and 2. Haverhill going to have that preferred lane through 1 and 2 on the outside is trying to clear Michael Gregory. Door to door down the back straightaway. Haverhill has been very good in the short run today. He's now clear. New leader in Fontana, Connor Haverhill. Here's Bryce Benton to the inside of Matthew Rivera. Michael Gregory back to the inside of that 50 machine as well. He's not giving up. He's still there. Come to lap 59, Benton looking to clear himself there on the 19 Rivera. He is now in the 3rd. Bryce Benton with probably overall the quickest car all night. Ooh, battle back here. Asbell moves to the outside there. William Reagan, Matthew White involved here. Gary Smith. Smith gives some dirty air to that number 7 of Matthew White. Coming to lap 60 in Fontana. Haverhill has been running the outside lane. This is not going to help his tires out whatsoever, so he's going to have to be careful with all of that. Only caution flag so far tonight has been the halfway break as they head back into 1 and 2. Here is Bryce Benton on Michael Gregory. Down the back stretch they go side by side. Gregory has momentum on the outside, but the inside is preferred through turns 3 and 4. We'll see if Benton can keep it there. He will. Through 3 and 4 they go yet again. Bryce Benton on the inside lane of Michael Gregory. Still side by side. Oh, almost contact between those two. See Cameron Chandler trying to get up here inside of the top 8. Matthew White falls back to 9th. With 40 laps to go. Benton battling for 2nd place up the racetrack. He goes big time, clears himself in the walls. Michael Gregory. Benton is damaged as well. And now getting split 3 wide is Rivera. What an aggressive move by that number 9 of Bryce Benton. Puts Michael Gregory in the wall and gives himself a bit of damage. They're 3 by 3 through turns 3 and 4. Here comes Gary Smith as well. Where's he going to make a move? Chandler to the outside lane. He's been so quiet all day long. Haven't really said his name many times. Recovering from that injury he's sustained in Sonoma. 3 by 3. Asbell in the middle of the pack. He didn't score any stage points, which is definitely not going to help out his 25th place points position currently. Chandler now to the inside. Where did he come from? To the inside of Michael Gregory. Door-to-door action with Bryce Benton somehow back in second place, chasing down Connor Haverilla for the lead. How about Asbell in the middle? There's that 27 of Gregory up the racetrack. William Reagan in the top 10. Great night for him. Ooh, slightly in the wall is that 27 as they roll down the backstretch. In the wall once again, Michael Gregory. Here comes Matthew White, 3 wide on the bottom. Benton on the bumper of Haverilla. Battle for the lead. Haverilla with momentum back off the corner exit. He'll clear Bryce Benton once again. Now there's Cameron Chandler currently running in third. Connor Asbell currently in fourth. Big dive bomb to the inside for Bryce Benton. Trying to take the lead back away. He's almost clear. Haverilla is back to the inside though. Crossover move. Side drafting aggressively. Down the front stretch through 1 and 2. Haverilla, big move. Back to the inside lane. He's up the racetrack. Once again, he slides up the racetrack. Slide job back under him is Bryce Benton. Now here comes Chandler with a run. Trying to split it 3 wide. Cameron Chandler to the bottom for the lead on Benton. 2 for 1 in 3 and 4. Chandler's almost clear. Now he is clear. What a pass by Cameron Chandler to take the lead here in Auto Club. Benton's not giving up. He's back to the inside. Oh, blocking to the wall is Chandler and Haverilla. Aggressive racing here in Fontana. Oh, and the wall is Haverilla once again. Nearly collects Chandler. Haverilla probably not very happy with the number 8 machine after what happened last time. Side by side still down the backstretch in 3 and 4. Oh, can't get clear. They're not going to be 3 wide. How about Matthew Rivera on the bottom? Haverilla clear once again. Connor Asbell trying to get involved in this battle as well. Once again, they head down the back straightaway. Haverilla's got momentum. He gets loose slightly. Door to door here with the number 19 Rivera falling back with position to a big run down this back straightaway for Matthew White. He's going to pull down to the inside. Through turns 3 and 4. There's that 8 of Chandler to the inside of Haverilla. White to the inside of Rivera. The 19 with momentum off corner exit. Oh, Payson Lindsay in the wall slightly once again. Top 12 have kind of separated themselves away from the rest of the pack. Cameron Chandler now he's got Asbell to the outside. Connor Asbell for P3. This is the highest he's ran all season long. Coming off 3 DNFs in a row. Back up the racetrack, though, he's got Chandler back to his door. How about Matthew Rivera? 3 wide. Where's Matthew White gonna go? Haverilla now all over the back bumper of your leader for the lead here in Fontana. Back to the inside is Haverilla. Benton, though, has momentum off the top. Ooh, Chandler a big slide off corner exit. He'll have Matthew White to his inside. And they're side by side for the lead again. Benton almost cleared himself on the 50. Haverilla makes his way back to the inside. He slides up the racetrack, though. They're both up the track. Here comes Rivera. 3 wide for the lead. Matthew Rivera is almost clear. Connor Asbell there as well. Chandler to the outside of Gregory and Matthew White. 3 by 3, 2 lanes deep. 31 to go in Fontana. The action is heating up. Matthew Rivera in the 19 is clear. Now here's Bryce Benton to the quarter panel, to the bumper, side by side with Connor Asbell. Benton trying to retake his lead. Trying to get there once again on Rivera. Connor Asbell, where is he going to go? Asbell trying to maybe make it middle for a second through 1 and 2. Oh, Havrilla saves it. Got to the quarter panel of Matthew White, almost made him go around. Here's Rivera, back to the inside of Benton. Side by side. Coming to 29 laps to go in California. They're side by side for the race lead, about 3 lanes deep. Rivera on Benton. Rivera, oh, just finds a place in line. That allows Connor Asbell to make the move down to the inside. Way up the racetrack is Asbell to the quarter panel of that number 19. Here comes White. 3 wide on the bottom. Splits Asbell and Chandler. White to the bottom of Connor Asbell yet again. Oh, Cameron Chandler on the wall. White's hooked. The wreck in the back straightaway. Multiple cars involved. Reagan's involved. There's the 8 spitting. The 72 of Asbell. The 96 of Andrew Stacy all torn up. Maddox Beard involved. About a 10-car wreck. Connor Asbell has damage. Brings out the first incident caution of the night on lap 73. And it all started with Cameron Chandler getting together, I believe, with Matthew White. And some of your top runners have damage, especially that 8. Let's take a look at what happens. To bring out the first incident caution of the night, the second caution overall. So, Gary Smith to the inside. Oh, it looks like they just got together there. I believe Chandler wasn't clear. Smith was just on his quarter panel. Tight racing incident. You see Reagan spinning down there as well. It looks like Andrew Stacy in the 96, unfortunately, takes a big shot to the wall. We'll have to ultimately see what happened to him. Here, Stacy in the 96. Oh, yeah. Just got hooked by William Reagan. There he goes. Hard to the wall for Andrew Stacy. Somehow didn't blow his motor, so don't really know how that's possible. Let's ride along here with the 97 of Gary Smith. See what he saw on his onboard. Looks like one came up, one came down. He hooked Matthew White. Asbell just hooked Smith as Smith blinks. They all wreck here on the back straightaway. All right. We're going to see real quick cars coming down pit road. We'll have more replays coming up. Currently led by your leader, Bryce Benton. Caution is out on lap 74. This is a very interesting time for a caution flag. Some drivers are going to be putting their last set of tires on, I believe. We do get 3 tonight. Will drivers elect not to take tires? This should be interesting. I think White saved a set. We'll see if Benton takes tires. He probably will. White's got some damage to repair on his race car. Off pit road first. Battle is going to be between Benton and Rivera. And Rivera slides ahead of Benton, and I believe... No, Benton won it. Okay. That was very, very close. Gary Smith somehow escaped with getting minor damage. How about Ashton Miller? Haven't really seen him all night. He's currently running in 4th. Here comes John Butler off pit road. There's Matthew White currently sitting there. Cameron Chandler all torn up with damage in the 8 machine. Of course, Connor Asbell with damage as well. The 81 of Hillquich has some damage. The 27. 33 of Maddox Beard. 36 of William Reagan. It was the big one on the back straightaway. Let's take a look at some more angles on that. And we will see what we can see. What ultimately led to the first caution flag for cause here tonight in Fontana. It all started, of course, with Cameron Chandler and the 97 of Gary Smith. So Smith there outside of Chandler. Yeah, just got him. Hooks Matthew White, hooks Connor Asbell, 3-car hook, and they all just pile up here on the back straightaway, hard on the wall. You saw Andrew Stacy back there. Let's take a little ride along this number 96 machine real quick. See what kind of hit it was. Somehow it's loaded motor. Oh. And a long slide, lonely slide, in the wall hard. Oh, he is currently running here on the inside as they will come to choose this time by. All around, not a whole lot of choosing because there's so many cars catching up, so not really that interesting, only about maybe 6 cars involved in that choose cone. I think we might extend it to, should we extend it? I don't know, we might be able to extend it to 2 to green. We would need that. Probably gonna extend it to 2 to green. Alright, so we'll extend it to 2 to green. There's a lot of cars kind of just missing here at the front. Alright, so 2 to green this time by 25 laps to go in the race right now. We should restart here with, I think, 23 to go. So still multiple cars on pit road. Unfortunate night for Braden Hunsicker. You're going to come away with this night with 0 points. Just trying to bring out anything he can. Of course, had those mechanical issues early in the race. And now running 19 laps down. Gained a couple of positions with Banks and Wilk retiring, but that's just about going to be it, I would say, for Braden Hunsicker. And yeah, unfortunate, once again, Andrew Stacy, currently there on pit road. I believe he's probably done for the night. He just cannot catch any sort of break. 4th race now.
Yeah.
Been involved in an incident, and it's going to take him out of it again.
Stacy definitely was not happy on the radio at all. He just had the ultimate crash out.
I would imagine it's been such a frustrating season for the driver that made the Xfinity Series Championship for last year. All right, so with all of this, first we're going to restart with 23 to go in Fontana. Chandler is currently a lap down, as you can see. Matthew White got away with that one lucky. I thought he was getting hooked into the wall. I thought he was going to be destroyed like Chandler and others were. Somehow he's not. Waiting for more cars here, starting to catch up. Some still on the pits. That has been the only caution flag of the night for the 2nd straight night. The first incident caution of the night comes after the halfway break, well after it, and it's the big one on the back straightaway for the 2nd straight night, just like the Xfinity Series yesterday. We'll restart here on lap 78. Working caution flag at number 2. All right, big shakeup at the front of the field. Lots of key players now missing. Bryce Benton, though, the driver that has led the most laps so far, still with the lead as we will come to the restart zone with 23 to go from California. Oh, not an even restart at all there. Haverill gets a better jump than Benton. He'll be almost to the inside of the 9. To the inside he goes once again as they head up through 1 and 2, 3 wide. Haverill going to clear for the lead on Benton. But is the question, did he get away legally? I believe he did. Gary Smith on the wall slightly as they head down the back straightaway. Big move, Matthew White to the inside of Matthew Rivera and the 8 of Giesbrecht. Off the racetrack goes that number 7 of White. He gets loose down the front straightaway. Benton loses a spot to Gary Smith. He lost momentum once again. He's kind of in the middle. There's Lindsay to the inside, splitting them 3 wide. And the wall is Hilquich. Payson Lindsay was going to clear for 3rd place. Now here's Gary Smith working to the inside of Havrilla for the race lead. Side by side, side drafting down the front straightaway. Gary Smith, of course, led laps early on. He has good kind of maybe short to medium run pace. Gonna want to try to use it now. Big block to the inside as Matthew White works his way into the inside of Bryce Benton. 4 wide, Michael Gregory to the bottom with Connor Asbell. It is definitely go time now in Fontana. 3 by 3. Down the back straightaway with Lindsay trying to get up second. Gregory, a big move ahead of Matthew White, who almost slides up into Benton. Still 3 by 3. Contact is made. How about Pace and Lindsay up to second place with all this going on? 3 wide, 3 lanes deep. Down the front stretch in the 1 and 2. Gregory trying to clear White, Asbell, and Benton, and he will. Michael Gregory to fourth. Pace and Lindsay all over the back bumper of Havrilla. How about Christian Leonard to the outside in that number 5 machine. Here's Pace and Lindsay side by side for the race lead. Door to door with 19 to go in Fontana. Lindsay on the bottom, almost clear, but oh, big slide, Havrilla. But Payson is, I believe, clear. Havrilla, though, not giving up, back to the inside lane. Christian Leonard makes it 3 wide between Benton and White. And he takes the lead back away from Payson Lindsay. Back here, it's all chaos. Christian Leonard is sideways in front of Bryce Benton. Oh, and he door slams him. Here comes White as well. To the inside for the 7. Almost clear there on Connor Asbell. It's just an absolute mess for 1 and 2. Ooh, Matthew White up the racetrack with Bryce Benton, Connor Asbell, momentum coming back up to the outside. Michael Gregory there in the way as well. They're 3 wide once again. White finds a place in the line. There's TJ Handley, gets to his bumper. Can't even follow all of the action going on. Late race here in Fontana. Here comes Gary Smith. Oh, big moment for Connor Asbell. Oh, Leonard is loose. Benton involved with him. They're almost 4 wide. Somehow they all were able to save it. My goodness. $17 to go. White now looking to the inside here of Connor Asbell. Gary Smith up the racetrack again. Ooh, Asbell gets Smith a bit loose, his teammate. White trying to side draft down this front straightaway. Ooh, he's gonna really put him close. There comes Benton. Gonna split White 3 wide. Pace and Lindsay to the inside of Connor Havrilla. 16 to go. The 99 trying to take the lead. Oh, Benton is loose. And Lindsay is clear. Havrilla, though, back to the outside. He's not one to give up. It is just an absolute mess back there, 3 by 3. Down the front stretch, 15 to go. Will they make it back around with no more caution flags? I mean, with the way they're racing, they've done this all night long. Only 1 yellow flag for cause. Of course, it was the big one in the back straightaway, though. You never know what could happen. Havrilla, though, back to that outside lane. You're looking back here. Bryce Benton and TJ Handley side by side. White on the back bumper of that number 72 of Connor Asbell. Benton's going to get to his bumper. They'll push up to the outside. Now they're going to leave Asville out to dry, it looks like, through 1 and 2. Oh, crash in the back straightaway. Logan Giesbrecht's around. Multiple cars wrecked. Caution going to come out. Hilquich involved with Giesbrecht. Caution now. Chandler has damage. It was Matthew Rivera in it as well. I believe some other drivers got a piece of it. And Logan Giesbrecht all torn up in the 80. The yellow flag out with 14 laps to go. Let's take a look at what happens. It all kind of started back here. Giesbrecht on the outside. Oh, is Hilquich actually getting loose? Then he hooks Giesbrecht into the wall. Giesbrecht spins, hooks Rivera, goes around in front of the field with, I think, the 8 of Chandler getting a bit of damage. Somehow more drivers were not involved in that. That's why I threw the caution. I thought that was about to be like a 7-car pileup on the back straightaway. Ooh. Yellow flag will fly. Let's take a look once again from the blimp. Yeah, it was just Hilquich, big overcorrection, hooks that 80. Chandler got damaged. It's been a tough night for Cameron. Oh my God! John Butler, unbelievable. He got to ride along with the 09. How did he survive? Hold your breath. Oh! My God. All right. Will we see cars pitting? Some drivers could be out of tires. This could be interesting. Haverlis stays out. So does Clausen. Kind of a split decision.
I'm a lap down.
So Haverhill, then that means the only one on the lead lap that stays out. Caution with 13 to go, coming at 12 to go. I believe Haverhill is out of tires. Question is, who has a set laying in the pits? I believe White has one, maybe Benson. Maybe some others. Yeah, there are a lot of drivers actually are taking tires, so I believe some of them might have conserved the set. This is definitely their last set. No doubt about that. 4 fresh Goodyears. Here we come off pit road. Pace and Lindsay look like he's going to win the race off pit road. Second, I think, is going to be White. Third is going to be the 97 of Smith. Fourth, I believe, is Benton. Or is it Leonard? Can't decide. It's Benton. Leonard's going to be off pit road 5th. Gregory, Hanley, others roll off pit road. Third caution flag of the night, 12 to go. Coming to choose this time. Hunsicker's going to have to drive on by. Here's the 8 of Chandler off pit road. All right. I'm going to choose with 11 to go. That means we will restart with 10 remaining here in Fontana. Havrillis starting on old tires. He's been one of your front runners all day long, especially in the second half, but hasn't really had a restart on old tires. He's choosing outside. Okay. I mean, old tires maybe gonna have a part in that. Doesn't want to get in the way or something. I don't know. Doesn't have any sets left in the pits. That's why he didn't pit at all. And obviously don't want to add more weight to the car by adding fuel, but that's definitely interesting, choosing the outside lane. I'll pile in there with Matthew White. That'll give the front row to Pace and Lindsay and Gary Smith. Bryce Benton back there in row 3.
Yeah, I don't know if he just wants to get out of the way or what, but definitely going to be an interesting restart.
We're going to have to all push on by as we will see what's going to happen under this restart here in Fontana with 10 laps to go. Still waiting for cars in the back of the field to catch back up. We'll see if they have enough time. Andrew Stacy, they're still in pit road. Logan Giesbrecht probably maybe done. All right, buckle up. 10 to go in Fontana. Lots of cars probably going to the tail end of the longest line here. What is going to happen in these final 10 laps? Who knows? All we know is it probably is going to be an absolute thriller. Sit back, relax, and watch these last 10 laps of action for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series at Fontana. 10 to go. Good restart for the outside lane in Havrilla. Somebody just blew up. Lindsay now trying to side draft Matthew White for P2 as they head back into 1 and 2. White in the middle, Lindsay on the bottom. 3 wide for the lead. Oh, in the wall! Gregory wrecks in the back straightaway. They're wrecking big time. Caution gonna come out again. Multiple cars go around down the back straightaway, and the yellow flag flies once more. And this is, I don't know. 4th caution now of the night. Let's take a look at what happened to bring out the yellow. Check up by Benson. Oh, yeah. Checked up by Benson. Leonard couldn't check up in time. Hanley gets a piece of it. Oh, saw the 79, and Miller got a piece of it as well. And, yeah, just a big slide for that number 27. It's right along with the 5 of Christian Leonard. Slide. Yep. Nothing could have done to really check up in time. Leonard got a piece of the wall, and they all pile up behind him, bring out the yellow flag. I mean, just unfortunate. It's kind of we've had of course now 3. We didn't have any cautions for cause in the first 70 laps in this race. Now, as of late, it's been a bit more chaotic. Yeah, just sliding up. Couldn't do anything to check up there for Leonard, and then they pile up. Hanley gets a big piece of it, and they spin down the backstretch. All right, so cars in the back maybe pitting. Some maybe gonna, as spinning on the pit road nearly is that 27 of Gregory. Not really sure what that was, but 8 laps to go here in Fontana. All right. So final 8 laps from Fontana, California. Of course, like we mentioned earlier, 0 caution flags for cause in the first 70 laps of this race, 3 in the last 20. So, I mean, it's been a little bit chaotic as of late. All right. Cole Clausen, let's give a round of applause for him, up to 8th. Man, he's taking advantage of this late race chaos, and Cole, how's it feeling up in P8 right now?
Well, it feels great because I've been in the trenches all night long. You know, I've been stuck a lap down for what feels like an eternity, and man, we've had an up and down race. I still got a little bit of damage on this 71 Ford Mustang, but man, she is running good, and hopefully we can get a solid finish here.
As they will come to the choose cone this time by with 7 to go. We will restart with 6 remaining here in Fontana. All right. Here we go. Choose cone. Havrilla once again going to pick the outside lane. White's going to be on that inside. That'll give Lindsay the top. The outside got surprisingly a great restart last time. We'll see what happens now. And it ultimately benefited the car second on the outside, which is now Payson Lindsay. This could be it. Final 6 laps in Fontana to close this one out. Matthew White, Connor Havrilla on the front row. Havrilla has had a great race tonight, but of course ran out of tires on the last caution flag. And now going to just have to try to make it to the end on this old set. Here we go. 6 laps to go from California. Great restart once again for the outside lane. White does not get going. Lindsay gets going. Same thing with Havrilla. Pulling out a line there is the 09 of John Bello, the 5 of Christian Leonard. White slots in the P5. Gary Smith on his bumper. There's Benson on the inside. Through 1 and 2 they go. Lindsay currently running in seconds. Got to run down this back straightaway. Everyone trying to find a place in line back there as well. Lindsay, where is he going to pull? All over the back bumper of Havrilla. Through 3 and 4 they go. Havrilla doing everything he can to try to hang on to these old tires, but Payson Lindsay has just cleared him for the race lead. He's on his bumper though, 5 to go. White's tucked up here, and once again he's looking for his 3rd win of the season. Havrilla looking to gain momentum back around the top. Nearly in the wall. Matthew White's to his bumper, to his quarter panel, to his door, side by side. White back to the inside. Here's Benton working low with Connor Asbell. He's still not clear. Oh! Matthew White got a bump there from Connor Havrilla. He's all over his bumper still. Payson Lindsay now has about a 0.3 of a second lead with 4 to go. White to the bottom of the racetrack. Lindsay kind of in the middle. White and Benton overall have been the 2 quickest cars all night as they break the draft down. Oh, crash! Back straightaway, 2 cars in the wall. It's Leonard. We'll see if it's only 1 car spinning. Matt Crabb there will stay green. 3 wide again in 3 and 4. Benton still stuck bottom of 3s. They come to 3 laps to go. Payson Lindsay trying to hold on, looking for his 2nd career win. Payson Lindsay came into this race 26th in points. They're still 3 wide for 3rd. Oh, White, though, is there on the back bumper of the 99. Benton now clear for P3 as they head down the back stretch yet again. Breaking the draft. Through turns 3 and 4. Coming to 2 to go this time by. Two remain in Fontana. The 7 of White all over the rear bumper of Payson Lindsay. He'll pull outside. Lindsay blocks. Through 1 and 2 they go. White to the bottom. He slides up the racetrack. Lindsay back to his bumper. He almost moves him. Still there, side drafting down the back straightaway, making contact. Where's Benton gonna go? Lindsay to the door, White. Here comes Benton. They're side by side, coming to the final lap. White flag in the air, 1 more time around Fontana. Big shove, Payson Lindsay, almost clear of White. Here comes Benton! Bryce Benton to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to take the lead back away. Oh, in the wall, crashing his Maddox Beard, wrecking down the back straightaway as they head down the back stretch for the final time. Connor Asbell pushes Lindsay out front. There goes White. He's to the bottom, they're 3 wide. Here comes Asbell. They're 4 wide for the lead. 4 by 4, here they come. To the checkered flag. He's gonna do it. Connor Asbell wins in Fontana. What a finish. Unbelievable. 4 wide for the lead, and he wins it. Connor Asbell! Unbelievable! Your winner in a thrilling Fontana. Everybody was door slamming each other there at the end. Nobody was giving an inch. Connor Asbell comes home in one of the most insane finishes I have ever seen. What a redemption for the 72! Showtime Motorsports' first ever victory. After DNFing 3 races in a row, he is a winner in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series. Welcome to Cup Victory Lane, Connor Asbell. What a finish. And he is going to burn it down. Took advantage of them just sliding each other up the racetrack 3 wide. And wins the race. Unbelievable. Connor Asbell, what a finish. From California. Post-race coming up here from Fontana. California will look at your top finishers, your post-race results, and we'll have some interviews. After a wild finish here from Auto Club. Unbelievable. How did he do that? We'll have to take a look at post-race replays. Coming up here in the post-race show in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series at Fontana. What a well-deserved victory. This is going to help out Asbell in the pit in the points. I mean, oh my God. Ends up scoring literally, I'm pretty sure it was nearly 0 points for Connor. I can check real quick. Connor entered this race with 0 points, or entered this race, no, not 0, 10 points, I should say. 24th in the standings, and he wins the race. I'm gonna burn it down in victory lane. First time Cup winner, Connor Asbell. Second day in a row we've had a first time winner. We had Justin Rowe winning the Xfinity Series for ETR, his first win. Now Showtime Motorsports gets their first ever team win in history, and Connor Asbell's first ever Cup Series victory. What a performance it was. We'll have post-race interviews coming up. Let's real quick take a look at this unbelievable finish. I mean, I have literally never seen anything like it. I'm still shaking. What a finish here in Fontana, California. Let's go all the way back to the final lap. Pace and Lindsay. Matthew White made a great move to the inside to get there on Lindsay, and just let's take a look all the way back to the white flag. So Benton, side by side there, Lindsay and White coming to the final lap. Benton pushes his teammate Lindsay. I thought Lindsay was going to be clear away, but then watch Bryce Benton make that move back to the inside, bails on his teammate. Then Benton slides up the racetrack into the door. That gave White and Asbell a run. They also had a wreck in the back straightaway. We'll take a look at it in a few moments. Asbell got that run down the backstretch, pushed Lindsay out. White went 3 wide to the bottom. I thought White had the lead then. Then they made each other all 4 wide. 4 wide off turn 4 for the win. Connor Asbell takes out 3 and beats him to the line by that much as they bang behind him. And they all pile up. John Butler got a piece of... Oh my God, what a hit. John Butler in the 09. Oh, and he got slammed again. That is terrific for that 09 of John Butler. Let's take a ride along, though, with Connor Asbell. An absolutely legendary final lap drive by the driver of the 72. What a race. I mean, they push each other up the racetrack, these leaders, about 3 or 4 times. I mean, my goodness. Asbell, like Christmas morning, to the bottom, 4 wide for the win. And they all tried to get one final run. Wasn't enough for the checkered flag. Connor scores his first win with hard hits. John Butler is right along with the 09 machine. Let's take a look at what happens from his point of view. we go 4 wide. I mean, he could have been in contention for this one again. This is going to be horrible. Hold on. Hold your breath. Got hooked by Benson off to the checkered flag. Oh, what a hit. And then took that another second hit. And then the third hit. Oh, my goodness. Just brutal for John Butler. He is going to go to the infield care center after that one. I think that was it. I think he's done. Yeah, no more hits after that. I don't think he finally was done. Let's take a look, though, at the final lap crash in the back straightaway that involved Cole Clausen, Maddox Beard, and a couple others. Unfortunately for Cole, it comes home P15. So, looks like, oh yeah, Haverla, I think neck codes into Beard a bit. So, and then Clausen hooks Rivera. Nearly hooked Ashton Miller. So 3 cars it looked like spin on the back straight. Oh, and then Clausen got Rivera there at the end. Fortunate for the driver of the 71. Let's take one final angle at here before we go to post-race interviews. And then gets hooked once again. Just unfortunate finish after making up so much ground there at the end. That'll do it, though, in Fontana. What a finish. We'll have some post-race interviews with probably some very, very excited drivers. Let's go to post-race here in Fontana for the Cup Series. Connor Asbell, first-time Cup winner. Connor Asbell, I'm speechless. What a finish. Take me through what was going through your mind there on the final lap. You saw those 3 leaders, 3 wide, push each other up the racetrack. You made an extremely bold 4 wide move down the front straightaway for the final time to clear them all and take your first ever Cup Series victory tonight in Fontana.
Man, I gotta thank Aiden for spotting me through that. I also gotta thank my buddy Roman Lee that's in my room right now, just supporting me in this. Man, that was incredible. I saw him go 3, and I was hoping Matthew didn't park his car. And right when I saw him sliding up the track a little bit, I got my grip in, and I just went through on the bottom. I am so blessed, bro. It's such a great time.
So coming off 3 DNFs in a row, you do the complete opposite and win tonight. So how much momentum is this going to give you guys now? And not even to mention the amount of points it's going to give you.
This is definitely much needed after 3 races of just DNFs. I believe next is Atlanta, so going to a track that super speedway, I love that thing. And man, I gotta thank God, you know, being here and helping us all through just hard times and whatnot.
All right, well, big congratulations on your first ever Cup Series victory and an absolutely thrilling finish. And have fun celebrating this one. I know it's biggest win of your FedEx career by far so far, and we will see you in Atlanta after the off week.
All right, see ya.
What a finish. Next up, going to be Pace and Lindsay. Pace and Lindsay, such a great effort for you guys. It's going to be much needed points as well after such a terrible start to the season and then a penalty for you guys. P2 tonight. Just take me through that final lap. You were really aggressive there at the end with Matthew White. It ultimately ended up with Benton pushing you guys up the racetrack as well and ended up with a P2 finish for you. Just take me through that final lap.
Yeah, some very hard racing there at the end of the race. Just kind of stuck on the top and just kind of got bullied out of the way. I have some words for certain drivers that I won't say, but P2 is a great finish for us after the last few results we've had. We've wrecked out in, I'm pretty sure, every single race, or at least gotten damaged. So P2 is a great recovery. Just I think if we were in the middle or on the bottom, we probably would have had a better shot at the win there.
So is this a much-needed finish, though, for you guys after being 26th in the standings?
Yes, definitely. And if we can carry this momentum into the next few races, hopefully we can get a few more good finishes like this.
All right, well, still nice job coming on P2 after a very, very hard-fought battle there at the end with all of you guys, and we will see you from Atlanta in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming up next is going to be 4th place finisher Bryce Benton. Bryce Benton, absolutely chaotic final about 3 laps there. Of course, you made a great 3 wide move down in the bottom to nearly clear for the lead. You pushed Lindsay there in the final lap. Ultimately, you were 3 by 3 heading through turns 3 and 4. It looked like you got maybe tight or something, moved up the racetrack that allowed Asbel to get to the inside. Just take me through what was going through your mind and what happened on the track there in the final lap.
Well, it was just a horrible move from White. I mean, I know he was trying to win the race, but it's just I don't get. I mean, it was just such a stupid, such a stupid send, and it's so frustrating because I probably would have won the race if White hadn't made that move to the inside, and I was just boxed in 3 wide, and I was just getting sandwiched, and we just gave Asbel the win, and just really frustrated about it because we honestly had the best car all race. We dominated like 75% of the race, and then we don't get the finish we deserve. So it's just kind of frustrating, but is what it is, I guess.
So you guys still this season have been really, really quick, as we have mentioned all season long. One of the fastest cars on the racetrack week in and week out. It was another top 5 finish here tonight. Going to be really good in the points for you guys. Still, are you feeling confident that a win is coming down the road pretty soon with the speed we're seeing out of your race car?
Yeah, I mean probably next race. Let's see what it is. Oh shoot,
It's Atlanta.
accidentally. Atlanta, yeah. So yeah, I mean that is technically where I got my first win, the Heat 5 days, and I feel like clearly right now with how some of these some of these drivers are driving, might be going a similar way to how it's going because we keep wrecking and just this horrible driving standards. But anyways, we're getting back to the win thing. Yeah, I think we could definitely get a win soon. It's just gonna be tough, and I don't know. It's just gonna be just have to be there in the end, and hope we're just in the right position at the right time.
All right, well, we will, of course, nice job still coming with the top 5, and we'll see you after the off week from Atlanta Motor Speedway in a couple of weeks.
Yep. Right.
All right, coming up next is going to be Connor Havrilla, came on with the top 5. Connor Havrilla, a great night for you guys. You led multiple laps. You even stayed out there because I think you guys didn't have any more sets of tires left. So what was it like battling up there? You saw all of that chaos happening ahead of you, 4 wide for the win as well. Nearly being involved in that and just still coming on with a very solid top 5 finish.
Yeah, no, we'll take the top 5 at the end there. Wasn't sure. Tried, I was hoping maybe fight for the one at the end, but couldn't fight against those good tires. We had a very fast 50 car today, Camry, and just unfortunate he was aggressive on that first stage. Used the tires to try to get back into some points, and then we took him right in the stage, and we were left with 1. So that put us in a bit of a predicament, but we made the best of it.
All right, so still another good finish for you guys. This should help you guys out in the points. Let me check real quick. You guys entered this race, I believe, in the playoff cut line +7. I'm pretty sure. So it should help you guys in the points even more. So we're coming to Atlanta next up. What are your feelings on a super speedway race coming up?
Feeling good. That's I think could be a good track for us for sure. Just gonna try to use the momentum from this week and keep it going. At Atlanta, keep it going hopefully.
All right, well, nice job still on the top 5 finish here today in Fontana, and we will see you in Atlanta after the off week in 2 weeks.
Yep, thank you.
Coming up next is going to be John Butler, comes home in 6th. John Butler, all around a very solid day for you guys. It's a P6 finish, but a terrible crash for you guys there in the final lap. So we'll first go into your results here. So battling up there, even for the win there at the end, what was it like there? And what was it like driving through the field there at the end and finding yourself in P6?
It was good. It was good. I was hoping something would happen up front, but man, I'll take a P6. It was a good finish. It was a good finish. It just was tough. Just had to survive.
But there on the final, or actually the checkered flag, you had that horrible crash where you slammed the wall once head on, and then you slammed the wall again. Then you get absolutely destroyed a 3rd time. So are you okay after that just horrific crash?
Yeah, I'm fine, but my incident's a little hurt because I had a 0x that whole race. I was like, okay, I get the bonus points, right? As soon as the race end, I'm like, whoa, 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 no, my bonus points. I was like, darn, I hope I still get them because I don't know if it counts after the race.
I don't think it would technically, so you should still have the point. So
good to hear.
All right. Anyways, so we're coming into Atlanta next. What do you guys think your feelings are on a super speedway? You guys overall at ETR have worked very well in those in the past. Do you guys think you're gonna probably maybe put it together finally, maybe get the win?
I would hope, but just like last season, it's all about survival. You just gotta be there at the end and play the cards right. But this race, I would just like to thank Barracoon Jr. for his excellent spottering, because there was some crashes. I thought I was left for dead, but his skills are just too good. And Alexander, he's there too, but he's got to use some work. But big thanks to Barracoon Jr. for joining me these nights. Really appreciate it.
All right. Well, nice job on the top 10 finish. P6 in Fontana here tonight, and we will see you in Atlanta in a couple of weeks after the whole league off week.
Yep. Good night, everybody.
All right. Just about midway through. Post-race interviews here tonight from Fontana, California. Next up is going to be Maddox Beard, who came home at 10th. Maddox Beard, I'm sorry, kind of a chaotic race for you guys. So it's ultimately still going to be a top 10 in your Cup Series debut. So just take me through that final lap, trying to avoid all the incidents.
Yeah, just want to start out. So yeah, P10, not bad for my Cup debut. But yeah, on the last lap, well, actually coming to the white, I tried to make a move on 50 of Havrilla. I sailed it and I kind of got into the wall and checked up some people behind, but yeah, I was trying to. Actually, no, I think he was behind me into the back stretch on the final lap. Or actually, no, I was behind him. Sorry, and he threw. It was kind of a bit of a bad block, but I was also a bit net coat, so I got on the wall there. And then they wrecked right next to me. Came up. I just put my foot down and I got through it. But P10, it's not bad. But I definitely feel like I could maybe try to got a top 5 at the end of that race. But yeah, at this point, I'm just trying to focus on Xfinity because we really, really need points.
All right, so of course you already have speed in the Xfinity Series. You won the pole, of course, last night in Fontana, though. We're coming to a super speedway next, Atlanta, in 2 weeks after the whole off week next week. What do you guys think you do there in Xfinity?
I think I can do pretty good. I'm decent at super series. Just gotta stay out of trouble to the last couple laps and get aggressive. But yeah, I think I can hopefully try to get a win. But at this point, I'm just trying to get stage points and avoid the wrecks and just get back into the playoffs because I know I have the speed to do it.
All right, well, still nice job coming home top 10 in your Cup Series debut here tonight. And we will see you in 2 weeks in Atlanta.
Yep, thank you.
All right. Coming up next here, post-race interviews, is going to be, I believe, Cole Clausen, if I'm not mistaken. This is going to be Matthew Rivera, came home 12th. Matthew Rivera, in your 4th Cup Series start here tonight. You part-time this season, but you've run all the races so far. Not running for the championship, though. It is a 12th place finish tonight. Another solid race for you guys. So, ultimately, you guys ran top 10, top 5, but it looked like you guys, I think, pretty sure you got caught up in a wreck there towards the end of the race. Ultimately, what happened there to take you guys out of contention for the win?
I mean, yeah, we've been having a whole lot of incidents as of recently. Every single time I have a good run, there's always some sort of incident that happens towards the back end of the race. But it's just racing. At the end, we were 3 wide. Cole Clausen was on the outside trying to avoid a wreck, came down, and just obliterated me. But no hard feelings towards him. There will be no. I'm not one of those drivers to be like, meh, I'm gonna kill you next week. It's all good.
All right, so of course, are we going to see you in more Cup Series races coming up?
100%.
All right, so if you make it to Atlanta, we will see you there in 2 weeks after the whole league off week. That's up next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Up next is going to be Cole Clausen, came home in 15th. Cole Clausen there at the end of the race. You guys are running towards the top 10. You guys had a great rebound, but unfortunately, it looks like I think you hooked someone and then you got hooked once again. and then you ultimately end up with a P15 finish. Just take me through the final lap and what happens.
Yeah, I was in a great position to get a 8th place finish, which I would have happily taken. Would have been my best finish of the season. Then coming out of turn 2, I saw the Maddox Beard in the 33 car in the wall, and I tried to avoid it, and unfortunately, the 19 of Matthew Rivera was there, and I unfortunately hooked him there, and we both spun out, and then he came back down the track, and he, I just kind of spun out a bit more, and then I really started losing position. So me and Matthew talked it out, and we're totally cool. I really apologize to him. I definitely should have been more aware of my surroundings, and I really messed up there. So I apologize to him, but my real beef is with the 50 car for starting all of it. I mean, and he doesn't even apologize or anything, man. I mean, what the heck? Havrilla or whatever his name is. I mean, he just has no respect. I mean, he parked it right in front of me at Kentucky too, and cost me a couple positions. So I mean, I got absolutely no respect for the guy. And if I'm ever side by side with him on the final lap, we all know what's happening.
All right, so of course we're heading into a super speedway. It's Atlanta. You guys have been pretty good there in the past. What do you guys think your expectations are for a super speedway to try to get your best finish of the year, top 5, or maybe even better?
Yeah, I really don't know. We were running in the top 10, I think, last season on a late race restart until some clown decided to make it 4 wide. I think it was Milo Lively, but I might be mistaken on that. And then we ended up wrecked. So Atlanta, honestly, hasn't really been my best track, but hopefully we can go in there. I really don't know where I'm going to be in the point standings after this because we didn't get any stage points and finished 15th. But we'll see. It's a long season still, and we just got to keep fighting.
All right, so of course, sorry about that unfortunately race incident for you guys. Great job, of course, rallying back to at least be somewhere there up after your early race troubles, and we will see you in Atlanta in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, so coming up next here, I think 4 to go is going to be Logan Giesbrett. He ultimately came home out of the race. Logan Giesbrett, it was a good day for you guys. You guys were inside of the top 10 for a decent portion of this race. And unfortunately, late in the race, you guys got caught up in an accident, and that will take you guys out of it. So take me through what happened there to take you guys out.
Well, to be honest, my spotter told me it was the 81. I didn't see anything. I made a move to the outside. It was clean. Nobody was beaten. Nobody was banging. And then coming off the corner, I just got turned into an affiliate teammate, which is unfortunate. But yeah, we had a good race. I felt really confident. This was my favorite real-life track before they tore it down. So I felt confident coming in, and I knew I had speed. And I was doing some strategy, and then that wreck with around 25 to go happened, and yeah, it ruined my strategy. We probably, if it had played out green flag to the end, probably would have gotten at least an top 10. But yeah, unfortunate, but I felt competitive, which is good. I believe I finished 1 spot out of the points, which is disappointing and not at all representative of where I ran, but still happy to have raced this track.
All right, so of course you guys entered this race inside of the playoff cut line. You might drop slightly out of it now, but ultimately, what's going to be your plan to try to manage that and try to ultimately at season's end make the playoffs?
I think I just need to start going for more stage points. That's been the bane of my existence in every league and every race I do, is that I don't go for stage points, and that ruins me in the overall standings. So just gonna probably try and be more aggressive, get more stage points in the season.
All right, well, nice job on the run tonight. Sorry I ended in DNF for you guys late, but we'll see you in 2 weeks after the off week in Atlanta.
Yep, thank you.
All right, up next is going to be Andrew Stacy. Man, Andrew Stacy, another unfortunate finish for you guys. You guys are running top 10, top 15 a lot of the day. Then, unfortunately, the big one that happened, the first caution of the night, back on lap 75, I think. You guys were almost out of it. Then you got hooked there at the end and took a long slide head on to the wall to take you guys out of the race. So, give me your perspective of what happened there.
I just saw cars getting loose to try to go low. I saw Asbel in front of me sideways 90 degrees, and I just knew it was over from there. No hard feelings for the 36. He couldn't go anywhere, and we both couldn't go anywhere. So we were both already like messed up for the race after that. So it just sucks. We can't catch a break. 3 out of 4 races we've been wrecked due to something unlucky. It's probably my playoff hopes there, but hopefully we can get a good solid run in Atlanta, maybe have a chance.
Yes, so Atlanta, of course, is a track that you've, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you finished, I think, second in your Xfinity debut last season?
Yes, finished second.
Do you guys think you could go one spot better here in the Cup Series and get an upset win to match what Connor Asbel did after his 3 DNFs in a row?
I think it's possible. I got to get back if it's pace in front. I'm definitely getting back after that Daytona. But yeah, hopefully that could happen. Hopefully the luck can turn around. Definitely, just like how Asbel just happened. Like that with that through goes Hamilton moment. Yeah, hopefully we need a good finish. So yeah, that would be the best option for us.
All right, well, still nice job on the run tonight. Sorry it ended in a crash and another unfortunate finish for you guys, but we will see you after the league off week next week in Atlanta.
Yep.
Up next, 2 to go here is going to be William Reagan. Unfortunately, he finishes with a DNF. William Reagan, you guys had great pace all day long today, but unfortunately, you guys were involved, I believe, in the big one on the back straightaway, and ultimately that will take you guys out of the race. So take me through what happened there from your perspective.
Yeah, no, that wreck was just kind of unfortunate. I looked back in the replay; it just looked like the 97 was a dart without feathers and just kind of shoved up the racetrack. But other than that, I felt like this is the first race I showed true speed. Kentucky and Sonoma were tracks I was running for the first time ever on iRacing, but this was a track that I had experience with. And I love long green flag runs, and that pit cycle worked to our favor and got stage points. And I was hoping to be there. I was hoping to finish this race. I was actually hoping to finally get a top 10, but yeah, no, that's the way it works when you're battling for that third on back spot.
All right, so of course Atlanta's coming up next. You guys, after this, you were below the playoff cut line. I believe you're 20th in points entering this race. You're probably going to fall even more, but we're coming up to Atlanta next week, or in 2 weeks, I should say, after the off week. It's a super speedway, I believe, all the way back in season 1. You guys nearly won that race, if I can remember right. And ETR's worked well in the past with that whole alliance at super speedways. What do you guys think the plan is to try to get the job done there?
Well, I have extra motivation going into that race. Home race for me. Track is literally 30 minutes down the road. So I have a little bit of extra motivation going in. I do remember that season 1 race here where I think I wrecked someone on the final lap and finished like 3rd or something. But it's my best FedEx finish I think to this date was that Atlanta race. So I do have some confidence going into that.
All right, well, still nice job on the run here tonight. Great speed out of you guys. Sorry you guys got involved in that late race, correct? But we will see you from Atlanta, your home track, in 2 weeks.
See ya.
Final interview of the night is going to be Aiden Donahue. Unfortunate for him, got involved in an early crash just all by himself, and fortunate for him. Aiden Donahue, not the return you guys were looking for tonight. It's going to be 22nd. You guys kept it on the track there for a while.
Yeah.
Like 39 laps down. And just what happened there early in the race, first 10 laps to get you guys on the wall and with damage that basically ended your race?
Well, it wasn't the first 10. It was the first lap. Well, when I started in the back, I was like, we're going to have some fun passing people or whatever. It's all a club, so I was excited. And right as we were getting wound up and getting ready to do that, I went low. I was going low. And the 33, whatever, the Sheldon Creed car, or Jesse Love car, I guess. I'm going to be honest, I did not see him until like right as I was about to commit. And I said, I'm not going to kill him. I'm going to most likely kill myself doing this. So I I didn't yank the wheel right. I just flicked it a little bit, and that was enough to send me into the wall. So the most embarrassing thing I've ever done on iRacing. So yeah,
All right,
that's what happened.
so of course you're part-time in the Cup Series this season. Unfortunate finish tonight, but you do have more planned starts to try to get redemption. What is your next start that is planned for Cup?
I think it's in a couple weeks. I think it's I don't know. I tell you what, it's not a plate race. Anyway, I don't really know, but I do know that I am unbelievably proud of Connor Asbell and doing that insane last lap crossover. I watched that live. That was cool. So that I didn't. Maybe I'd had a bad race, but watching him win that made up for it. And so happy my team is in victory lane. That's what matters the most. I'm not racing for points, and they are. So I'm happy to see them guys do well.
All right, so of course, big congratulations on your team's first ever Cup Series victory with Connor Asbell, who obviously needed it after 3 DNFs in a row.
I know.
And we will see you in the next Cup Series race that's on your schedule.
Yes, sir.
And that'll do it for tonight. What a race in Fontana. This one just did not disappoint. What a finish. Unbelievable. I have never seen anything like it. I mean, 4 wide. Let's look at it one more time because, you know, why not? Unreal finish from Fontana. Watch from the front stretch cam. Oh, hang on. There's Krishna. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so give us just a quick second. Sorry about that. So, of course, incredible 4-wide move to the inside. Connor Asbell gets the job done in an absolutely thrilling way here in Fontana. What a race. We hope you enjoyed the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series from Auto Club Speedway. Unbelievable finish. Unbelievable race in Fontana. Of course, the entire league is off next week, so we'll have 0 events in total for next week. And then in 2 weeks' time, the Xfinity Series will head to Atlanta Motor Speedway. The Cup Series will be after that. It's Super Speedway Racing in Atlanta. Always puts on a show. We're definitely excited for that one coming up. 13 days for the Xfinity Series, 14 days for the Cup Series. So enjoy next week, and Jim, happy Memorial Day as well, as that's what we're going to be taking a break for. And have a good next week. So we will see you in 13 days' time from Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Xfinity Series, their 4th race of the season. Good night from Fontana. Congratulations, Connor Asbell.